Kynar should be our first priority, though don't tell him I said that. We approach magecraft differently, but he's an accomplished practitioner of the art. He can assist us in rescuing the others, so find him and free him first. Deeper inside the ruins. Just watch out for the Yagra creatures. I've never seen them before, but they appear to come from the sea. Also, if you encounter any of the mind-trapped High Elves, there's nothing we can do for them. They're too far gone. Kynar and the others will appear to be in a deep sleep. When you get close enough, the spell I'm maintaining should transport you into their individual mind traps. Be careful in there. Thoughts and memories become real inside a mindscape. Hard to say. Each one is formed from an individual's personal memories. Plus, you'll notice Katora's dark influence, which will only grow more prominent as the mind trap snaps shut. I should be able to contact you through the link I've established. This kind of magic is insidious. It takes control of the target's mind, as it did with the High Elves. We need to free the adventurers before it takes them too. Now get to it. The link requires a lot of energy, and I can't hold it forever. Kynar should be our first priority, though don't tell him This kind of The link is working perfectly. There's Kynar. You need to convince him that this is all an illusion.
The magic that went into creating this mind trap is truly remarkable. An opportunity to learn something new comes along so rarely in the realm of arcane academia. But where are my manners? What part of my memories brought you into existence? Rescue? Why in the world would I need to be rescued? I'm perfectly fine. In fact, I'm learning a great deal about mind magic and the manipulation of the mindscape. Come to think of it, I could use a bit of help in that regard. I've come to the conclusion that this mental magic operates much like a disease that attacks the mind. To prove my theory, I want you to collect samples of the invading spell particles. Do that, and I'll happily follow you back to the waking world. I'll continue to review these fascinating tomes while you collect samples of the mind magic particles. Between the two, ultimate understanding is within our grasp. Nothing important gets accomplished without some risk. I have studied many different forms of arcana in my day. To study something so alien and new, that's worth braving a mind trap as far as I'm concerned. A Psijic? Me? By the stars, no. Oriandra and I met while she was conducting some bit of research or another. We've maintained a civil correspondence ever since, despite the way she looks down upon the Mages Guild. Now get me some spell particles. Look for clouds of strange glowing particles. I'd gather them myself, but I just can't put these books down. Not only are they riveting, I'm sure they hold the key to understanding the mind magic. What? What does it matter? They're books full of information and knowledge waiting to be absorbed. Enough of this. Get me those spell particles.
Kynar, listen to me.
Why are you in my head?
There's no time for research. You need to get out of there.
Before interrupting someone's thoughts. We'll collect those samples in no time.
Just hurry before the mind trap snaps off.
The mage is caught in my mind trap, worm! Nothing you do will change that!
Now return to Kynar and convince him to wake up.
These are perfect! Exactly what I needed. Now I can use these to... Of course! Stand back! With these particles, I can finally understand the meaning of these magnificent tomes! How dare you speak to me like that? I have a good mind to turn you into... a good mind. My apologies. I almost allowed this trap to drown me in my own thoughts. You're right. Let's return to the waking world. Thank you. I'll see myself to safety. You need to rescue the others.
Grog is close. Strange. I don't sense Katora's dark power there.
I think he resisted the mind trap on his own. He's still unconscious.
Wake him up, please.
That wasn't just water.
No matter. It worked, didn't it?
They wonder why I drink so much.
Focus, Grog. Make your way back to Kynar and me.
Yeah, I'll be right there.
I've got Grog. You go find Maria.
There's Maria. Be careful in there. I sense her mind trap is nearly complete.
Remember to keep your cowl low, Maria. Stay out of trouble. Be invisible. Survive. I will, Mama. Mama!
Maria's losing herself. Find items she holds dear and help her remember.
I offer you a place with us. A home, a family, if you promise to serve.
I promise, Speaker. Show me the way.
These memories represent turning points in Maria's life. The choices that made her who she is. Help her remember.
What matters is that you found your way back, Maria. You are an excellent student, and your mother would be proud of the person you've become.
Stay back. I can't remember who I am or what happened to me. These items, I remember them. Each one represents a person who influenced me, a decision I made. I think I still have so many things left to do. I feel like I'm swimming toward the surface of a still lake, like I'm emerging from a dark cave. This place, it isn't real. I am Maria of the Redeemed Blade. I demand to be released from this illusion. That was disorienting.
Kynar, bring Maria here, please.
If you insist. I'm not fully recovered yet, though, so this is probably my last spell for a while.
Just do it. Our friend can return on...
Oriandra!
Katora's mind trap. I set it off.
What's wrong with her?
I think she's caught in a mind trap.
I guess I'll need to cast another spell after all. There! I've re-established the mind link. Now go save Oriandra!
Listen closely. I've maintained our link, but just barely. I used the link to anchor part of myself to you. When the mind trap sends my darker aspects against you, kill them. That will destroy the mind trap and set me free. Trust me, it's the only way.
She's awake!
That's it. No more mind magic for me.
That was totally exhausting. Thank you for trusting me and for helping me break Katora's mind traps. I couldn't have done it without you. This particular danger has passed, but I will alert my colleagues in the Psijic Order to be on their guard. I suggest that you and these others remain vigilant as well. In the meantime, take this as a token of my appreciation.
1,000 gratitudes for aiding us.
What about the mind traps? There might be more still out there.
Sounds like a task we could dig our teeth into, my friends.
Indeed. I prefer to be the hunter instead of the prey.
We'll track down the rest of Katora's sea slode. You can count on that. Hunting down these creatures is quite within our area of expertise. Of that, I'm almost certain.
Don't worry about me. I may not be fit enough to fight, but I can still walk. I'll head to the closest town and make my report. Just need a moment to catch my breath first. Venom words dripped from the tongue of a traitor. Tell me, did you learn anything useful? Something I should add to my report? Do you expect my heart to bleed at such a story? Avanaire has betrayed her family tenfold by besmirching their name. She betrayed her queen, her nation, her comrades. My soldiers, good soldiers, were killed. For what? An addict's debt? And so she weighed the life of one greater than the deaths of many. I doubt this sentimental tidbit will change anything. Her name shall never be honored by her descendants. She'll be an outcast even in death, the greatest dishonor.
interfere with my experiments. Find a way to purge the ruin of these beasts.
Little sister.
I need heal.
Little sister.
Fairly met, newcomer. Wait, you're the one who was harassing Lyrindel earlier. I presume you've come to talk about this business with the orc. The ruins, eh? A good enough place as any to put that witless oaf in his place. You do know that Lyrindel has fought and won some 80 duels, don't you? No matter. Lyrindel grudgingly accepts this challenge. We shall meet you near the ruins.
I heard your ridiculous challenge. We'll be along presently.
There's my favorite second. Feels like I've been warming these knuckles up for hours. So, what's the story? That scrawny prig accept my challenge? Just look at this sword. I couldn't kill a squirrel with this thing. And this is a name? Looks like somebody's grocery list. Ah, it doesn't matter. I'll improvise.
I formally present Lyrindel, cherished son of the Nevulero, to accept the orc Rogazog's challenge. So, ready to watch Lyrindel skewer your friend? Skewer may be too harsh a word. We're only fighting to first blood, of course. But then again, accidents do happen. And to whom do you issue this challenge? I'm afraid you'll have to be more specific. Honestly, you can't even muster the brain power to recite the first of his names. Try again, if you please. Once again, to whom do you issue this challenge? Go on. Go on. Ah, there we are. Was that really so hard? Lyrindel accepts Rogazog's challenge and stands ready to fight. I trust your thick-headed friend is duly prepared.
Let's get this over with, shall we?
Yeah, let's do that. Come here, fancy pants. By Malakat, that felt good! You know, I never punched a high elf before. Felt like punching a pillowcase full of pudding. Almost feel bad for the little runt. Almost. Yeah, normally I'd put on a show, but this was personal. Honestly, I took it easy on him. If I'd really poured it on, he'd be breathing through his ear hole. Anyway, thanks for all the help. You ever need somebody knocked out, you let me know, huh?
How undignified! Clubbing a mer over the head with his fist! This orc is a savage! Please don't tell him I said that.
Think I'll stick around a while. Great view, huh? Sore knuckles, a stiff salt breeze. Huh. You know what? I take it all back. Somerset's not so bad after all.
shooting at me.
Mustika! Nocturnal has need of you, Wave Eater! Nocturnal would be impressed if this victory meant anything.
Didn't those idiots ever learn how to run properly? Whoa, hey! What are you doing in this neck of the woods? Not that you don't have a right to be here, that is. It's just, well, a griffin nesting ground doesn't tend to be the best place for a stroll. Me? Why, I just got a little lost, is all. I would have left already if not for my friends. We were separated, you see, running away from those damn beasts. I'm not much of a fighter, so I'm just hoping they'll make their way out. Really? I have to warn you, the griffins in there are quite nasty. They'd do anything to protect their nests from invaders. But if you're willing, I'd be mighty grateful. Even pay you for your efforts. If you find my companions, let them know to meet me by the way shrine, right down the road. And don't worry, I won't run off before you get your reward. We were on our way to Cloudrest, but must have made a wrong turn. Somehow we ended up within this nesting ground. Of all the luck. As soon as we realized where we were, a whole flight of griffins came rampaging towards us. I barely escaped. The way I see it, they're either dead or hiding. If they're dead, make sure to search their pockets, all right? I'd at least want something to bring back to their families.
I can't believe I was nearly pecked to death. Nothing is worth this sort of trauma. Oh, I'll go back to Mirinel, all right, and give her a piece of my mind. This was all her idea in the first place.
I haven't run that hard in a long time. That root ass best still be by the road. She owes me for this.
Ifra be praised. I can't believe you were able to pull that off. You're something else. And don't worry, Gwenolis told me about Aralim. It's a damn shame he had to die, but at least my other companions are safe. You did? Well, I'll be taking that. Wouldn't want it to go to waste, after all. Thanks again for all you've done. These two would have never been able to make it out, if not for you. This reward isn't much, but it's the best I can do. We'll head to Cloudrest, as soon as my companions have time to rest. I think we've got our bearings now. What? I mean... Oh, all right. After all, you did save these drag heels. We actually came here to collect some griffin eggs. I thought we could just sneak in and out. The damn creatures must have caught wind of us. Someone hired us to grab some is all. Not sure why. Griffins aren't easy to come by, though, outside of Somerset. Perhaps our buyer plans to sell the eggs somewhere off the island, a venture that is not, far as I know, entirely legal. Of course, it's always a good practice to keep such transactions under wraps. For all I know, you'd have run off and told the divine prosecution. I wouldn't go tattling now, though. After all, you were the one who handed me the egg.
My superiors continue to be dubious of this contract solution to law enforcement. Every success makes our efforts more tenable. So tell me, was your hunt fruitful? Excellent. It's somewhat of a shame to kill such powerful beasts, but of course, Somerset citizens come first. I'll let my superiors know safe once more. Though helping the Isle is its own reward, here's a more substantial offering.
Come, let me draw pleasure by filling your stomach with the finest food in Somerset. Hey, I thought she was joking. The arrivals need to learn to appreciate real food.
Through his mercy and his might, he stopped the Thracian plague. He knew war was the only way to stop the plague at hand. So he called for aid all throughout the land. Oh, Sirabane, oh, Sirabane, ye myrrh of godly fate. Oh, Sirabane, the youngest of the age. Man and Myrrh took up the call. They knew they could not fail. Together they combined their might. The All-Flags Navy sailed with Bendu Olo at his side, slinging sword and spell. Beat back the tide, the Coral Kingdom fell. Oh, Sirabane, oh, Sirabane, ye myrrh of godly fate. Oh, Sirabane, the youngest of the age. Thou good Myrrh, remember well the tale of Sirabane. For when dark times came to pass, he knew to ask for aid. Oh, Sirabane.
With all the new...
Can I... You seem quite dedicated. At least you're good for something, newcomer. Ha! Have I a few dozen warships lying about? We've lost an embarrassing number of vessels in the last few months. Foul weather claimed those Mauamadiddits have certainly done their part. It's their pet, you see, a keel splitter. Yes, a massive sea adder. It suns itself in the bay south of Seakeep. Our navy won't be safe until it's dealt with. Worse, the ships it destroyed carried sensitive intelligence. I need you to search the shore and recover any logs you can. The Divine Prosecution has granted you the honor of helping us during these dark times. See that your duty is done. Beyond the fact that it's a massive winged sea monster that devours sailors by the dozens, a precious little. Anything else? No? Excellent.
Now that we have the writ of authenticity, the rank, and the tickets to Enigma's performance, we should return to Courtier Vindilwyn so I can get my audience with the Proxy Queen.
I appreciate your help in acquiring cultural mementos from the newcomers. I hope my letter of recommendation provides Ambassador Riggott with the opportunity to meet the Proxy Queen. She really is an interesting woman. tell the ambassador to be on his best behavior. The proxy queen is a stickler for etiquette and protocol. Thanks again for these items. Each reflects the culture that created it. And the Nord gift, I suppose I'll find a use for that eventually.
More ruins. You know, every stone tells a story. I mean that literally, by the way. That wall over there won't shut up about how much it hates rain. Let's find this bridge and get out of here, eh?
Hey there! Careful where you step. My livestock is having their dinner, and I won't have some bumbler stomping all over them. I've got enough trouble with their mating woes. These bugs happen to be the most desirable olive lint to crawl upon Somerset. Ground up, my beauties make the most brilliant shade of grey you ever did see. Why, I even got the artist in Doria as a client. Oh, well, I did. What a shame. I always took her for one of the good ones. Never tried to cheat me or say I wasn't welcome. Always complimented my beauties when she visited. The ideal customer every time. To think that she would go so far as to sabotage my livestock. because it turns out she's just like every other high elf on this island. I refused to sell my carapaces to her exclusively, and this is what happens. Verilel was just heartbroken when I had to turn him away. Yes, and he had quite a bit to say about Tindoria. He told me just last week she was complaining about my services, and I heard this wouldn't be the first time she's done something shady. Why, Ifra, to think I was so blind.
Wait, don't hurt me. This wasn't my idea, honest. I just did what I was paid to. Just let me go and I'll tell you everything. Oh, I don't know. Some sort of pheromone? It makes those nasty bugs sleepy, but that's it, I swear. It's not poison or anything. Why did I ever agree to work for that snobby artist? What? No, a fellow named Verilel. Nasty perfume, full of himself, typical artist. He paid me to sabotage this farm. Not quite sure why, but, well, I think it's about time I leave. No need to tell the authorities, right? That's it. This is the last time I get caught up in artist rivalries.
I trust your search was as fruitless as mine? He did? Honestly, I would love to believe that. Tindoria's support was the only thing I had going for my business for a long while. But what would Verilel have to gain from all this? That's true. Tindoria and Verilel have been rivals for as long as they've been artists. I even let that bastard convince me Tindoria was the one who did it. Ah, these artists and their rivalries. It's always us little people who are made to suffer. Here, take the last of my stock. I'm sorry I ever took the word of that perfume pansy over Tindoria. Just glad I'm able to get her this shipment. That gentleman never did me a bit of harm.
This breach is in a zoo. Wow. You know, I'm endlessly fascinated by animals. A bit like walking plants, eh? Except with more, you know, fluids. Ugh, what a word that is.
A bad day for a stroll in the park. Something's got into the animals. They're running wild, frenzied. I don't suppose you saw an Indrik on your way here, a tame one? She's my charge, and pride of the Queen's menagerie. I need to find her. The Royal Menagerie. It holds exotic species from all over Tamriel. Now they're running loose, attacking the keepers and each other. It's a slaughter. It's too dangerous for a gentle Indrik like Lotus. Please, can you help me search for her? Oh, Lotus has only ever known kindness, gentle as a lamb. I hand-reared her from birth. She fled in the chaos, but she won't make it on her own. I have to find Lotus before she's hurt. Or worse. This is the only place she's ever known. She won't have wandered far. I hope. I wasn't at the epicenter of it all. I was about to feed Lotus when I started hearing the animals in a frenzy, yowling and slamming against their pens. Once the mammoths broke free, the whole place came apart at the seams. Total pandemonium. Indrix vaguely resembled deer, but you'd never mistake the two. Their horns and antlers sparkle like crystal, and their fronds and feathers are vibrant in any light. When Jeffers spun their shape, he made a tapestry of all life. I raised her from a fawn, watched her grow up. I can't imagine losing her this way. And the Queen would never forgive me. She and Lotus were inseparable, until the duties of the crown called her away. I made a vow to care for Lotus in her stead. A gift from the sovereign to his daughter when she was barely knee-high. Before she became queen, Her Highness spent many a day frolicking through the royal menagerie with Lotus. Hard to imagine now, I know. I didn't see anyone else come this way, but I hope the others made it to safety. I'd rather not dwell on the alternative. If anyone's still in peril, we should lend our aid. This is the only place she's ever known. She won't... Indrix sometimes graze on these trees. Look around and let me know if you find anything. What did you find there? I don't see any sign of her here. Did you find anything? Stars! I've seen wild mammoths charge the enclosure walls, but they usually give up pretty quickly. I've never seen one driven to battering itself to death. Not by anger, not even by panic. That would be an explanation, but it came on so suddenly. It seemed to afflict all the animals at once. Except Lotus. She was spooked, but not aggressive. I hope that's still the case. Right. Let's head further inside. Lotus's enclosure. Maybe we can pick up her trail. Find something? I don't see any new tracks. She didn't try returning to the enclosure. Find anything that might put us on her trail? Huh, let me see that. Smells... off. Starting to turn color, too. It shouldn't have gone bad so quickly. I've never seen an animal react so violently to spoiled food, and nothing this tainted would have passed our inspections. I think something was added, probably close to feeding time. No, it couldn't be. We care for these animals like they were our kin. No one I know would harm one of these poor creatures, let alone do something like this. No, thank the gods. I just deposited it here when the trouble started. I don't think she'd graze on any now that it's become foul, but I'd rather not risk it. We should keep searching.
Hey!
Did you hear that? Someone's in trouble. This way!
Thought I was a goner.
Dennis, what are you still doing?
Those lions crept up on me while I was distracted. Thought I was done for. Who are you, anyway? Some friend of Talamar's? He came back to find Lotus? I know he takes his duties seriously, but that's insane. I think I saw her drinking by the reflecting pool, but she's skittish. Bolted the second she saw me passing by. Good luck catching her. No thanks. I appreciate the help, but I'm not sticking around to herd Indrix in this mess. I'm getting out of here before I wind up something's lunch. You should do the same. Good luck with your Indrik hunt, Talamar. Try not to get killed.
Elise, wait! We need to stay together! Damn it. Let's hope we have better luck with Lotus. There she is! Lotus! After her!
Of your beast, Talamar! So, you managed to teach it some discipline after all.
Easy, girl. I'm here.
The royal menagerie is closed to the public at the moment. What are you doing here? His Indrik? You mean the royal family's Indrik? Every animal here is property of the crown. He would be wise to remember that before his personal attachment interferes with his duties. Regardless, your search is over. She'll be secured in the inner paddocks until order is restored. This act of sabotage will not be easy to recover from. You claim you arrived after the incident? I believe you. Whoever drugged today's feed supply knew too much about our procedures to have been an outsider. You may go, but I want you off my grounds. Talamar can escort you out, since watching Lotus seems too much for him. Talamar, take your new friend here and get off my grounds. The Rangers will take things from here.
But Lotus... Yes, Conservator. Sorry about all this. Conservator doesn't appreciate your efforts. I am truly grateful for your help. Conservator Vinalora. She's the appointed curator of the Royal Menagerie. All the keepers and rangers serve at her pleasure. I wouldn't take it personally. She's not one for niceties under the best of circumstances. If she really believes a keeper is responsible for sabotaging the menagerie, I can't say I blame her. I can hardly believe it, but it's the only explanation that makes any sense. Gods, no! I've worked with everyone here for decades. I just hope Vinalora catches the monster. Thank you again for helping me keep Lotus from harm.
Over here! We need to talk.
Elise? I thought you had already left. What are you doing sulking around here?
I didn't want to get you too involved, but I need help and there's no one else I can turn to. I was the one who drugged the animals. The plan wasn't for them to break loose, just stir up a fuss so I could slip into the conservatory unnoticed. Evidence. The menagerie is a facade. The ugly truth behind Sylvar Woad isn't so pretty. There are entire sections blocked off from most of the keepers. Vinalora and her rangers guard them like a vault. The animals they take there never come back. People who question Vinalora don't last here. If she claims the animal is a risk of some kind, it's just quarantined in the inner paddock, never to be seen again. Something terrible is going on, and I mean to expose it. Help me prove that. It's going to take a lot more convincing for Talamar, I can tell. I don't know that he'll ever forgive me for the mess I've made here, but maybe you can get him to hear me out? I'm a spy for the Queen. I mean, I was a keeper first, but when the Queen asks you to serve, you serve. She asked me to keep an eye on Vinalora before she left for her coronation, but the Conservator has stonewalled my advancement. To her, I'm just some uppity Nebara trying to rise above my station. But once it became clear I wasn't going to get into her good graces, I had to improvise. We see how well that turned out. Yeah, I'm not going to let the Queen down. I gave her my word. All I know is, healthy animals are disappearing, and her story doesn't add up. She could be selling them to wealthy Altmer to line her own pockets, or even butchering them to sell their parts to craft workers. I'm a spy. To her, I'm just some... Yeah, I'm not going to let the Queen... All I know is, healthy animals are disappearing, and her story doesn't add up. I don't know. More than anything, I want to make sure it wasn't all for nothing. If I can find the proof that Vinalora is abusing these animals, then maybe it will have been worth it, and Talamar can at least understand why I took the risk I did. I'm a spy. Hey, we can't all be slick and daring Khajiit of mystery.
She poisoned all these animals. She almost poisoned Lotus. And for what? It's true that I've never seen an animal move to the inner paddocks that's returned to outer enclosures, but she's suggesting what? That the Conservator is culling the herd? I mean, this is a crisis. Lotus is the prize of the menagerie. She wouldn't... This is insane, you know that? What do you need from me? It's a bit morbid, but I would search the bodies by the staff quarters near the main entrance. One of Vinalora's rangers might have had a key. All right, Elise, I'll help you. But if we don't find anything unusual in the conservatory, I'm turning you over to Vinalora myself.
Deal. If I'm crazy, go ahead and turn me in.
But you know there's something going on here, Talmar.
Let's just get this over with. Did you find the keys? I'm feeling exposed out here.
Ew. Oh, it's coming from over here. I knew they were up to something here. Smells awful. Alchemical. This equipment isn't incriminating enough on its own, though. Vinalora could justify it for medicinal uses. We need to find evidence that can't be explained away so easily. Samples, records, a test subject. Anything that proves without a doubt that the animals here are being used for something other than conservation. There's probably more upstairs. These poor creatures. Let's find out what Vinalora was doing with them. Hey, what are you reading over there? You found something important, didn't you? I could read it on your face from across the room. What's in those papers? Vinalora, you piece of... This is everything I need to prove she's been abusing her position here. I have to get this to the Proxy Queen. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but he deserves to know. Let's find him and get out of here before our luck runs out. This should be all I need. Where did Talamar wander off to?
obedience doesn't suit you, Talamar. Uncooperative animals don't last long here.
What have you done with Lotus, you monster?
I'd be more concerned for yourself right now. Try something rash, and Talamar will sprout an arrow from the eye. You've all caused me enough trouble for one day. They're a very special beast. Revered, even, as blessed beings who are as graced by the gods as we Ultima. They are a gift to our people, not found anywhere else in the world, and we have squandered their potential too long. Maintaining our natural primacy, what else? The mongrels of Tamriel infest everything, even our unspoiled isles now. But their overgrowth can be curbed. They only need a natural predator. The Indrics will be our immortal Adric Avengers. You're in no position to stop me. This enclosure is as strong as a fortress, and these barriers are impenetrable by even the Indric's effortless teleportation. Surrender before my... What was that? No! The wards! The Indrics will run wild! Elise! I should have known you'd be behind this!
Good luck containing your experiments. We'll give your regards to the Queen.
This isn't over, mongrel! You'll all pay for this!
Damn Vinalora! I can't let her turn Lotus into some sort of monster. I have to find her. It should be me. I'm the closest to family she has next to the Queen. Oh, I feel so helpless. Promise me you'll bring back Lotus unharmed. I don't want to think about that. Finding Lotus comes first. If she's changed, you just have to get through to her. Thank you for everything.
Vinalora must have been more shaken than she looked. She didn't hit anything vital, far as I can tell. I don't usually work on people, but if I can stitch up feuding Achater, I can handle this. You can't be serious. There's nothing stopping Lotus from escaping on her own now. We've got what we need to bring Vinalora down. There's no reason to risk your life. He's lucky to have found someone as foolish as he is. At least take my ward breaker, in case Vinalora reactivates the cages. I'll get Talamar out of harm's way. Good luck, all right? Hang on, Talamar. We'll get you out of here.
I've been wanting to see how the latest serum performs in live tests. Let's find out.
She's mine!
Oriel! Lead me from this forsaken place!
She's all right. Thank Zephyr. Oh, thank you.
Damn it, Talamar. You're going to reopen that wound.
It's so good to see Lotus alive and well. I couldn't stop thinking of her scared and injured, or worse. If Vinalora had turned her into some kind of monster, I swear, we should flee before Vinalora and her rangers come after us. Gods, that's terrible. I won't shed tears over Vinalora. She had to be stopped. But I'm so sorry you have her blood on your hands. I guess this is the end of the Royal Menagerie. With the Conservator gone, there's no one in charge of trying to get this place back in order. It'll all come apart by the time the Proxy Queen allocates a replacement. If she allocates a replacement. Me? Run the menagerie? I'd love to see it put back the way I remember it. But will it ever be the same now that I know what was really happening here? I could just take Lotus and put all this behind us. Yes, I know myself well enough to know I would be miserable just abandoning this place. I've poured so much of my life into it. Maybe I can do some good here. Change the way these animals are treated. These animals deserve better than to be left to fend for themselves. I owe them that much. I'll do everything I can for them. You have my word. Don't suppose I could declare it a wildlife preserve and leave the animals to roam freely, could I? I'm going to have my work cut out for me getting this place back in order. I'll take Lotus and try to find other survivors who escaped the chaos. Convincing them to return won't be easy, but I'm certain I can get at least a few other keepers and rangers to follow my lead. After that, a whole lot of wrangling. She's gone, and their operation is in shambles. I don't see why they'd stick around. But I'll be sure to burn their research at the first opportunity. Nothing like that will ever happen again under my watch. Wild Indriks are aggressive towards things they perceive as threats. Even if Vinalora hadn't given them her vile serums, they couldn't have been happy about being penned up like cattle. There may be hope for them, if the legends are true. It is said that when Indrik die, their souls don't leave Mundus. Instead, Jeffra plants them back into the land to sprout again as reborn fawns. If it's true, you think they remember their old lives? I like to believe Lotus will remember me. Then I do hope they forgive us for her transgressions. I'll do my best to make it up to any others I meet. She endangered every living thing here with the stunt she pulled. It'll be days before we know the final toll of stopping Vinalora. I know Elise did this for the right reasons, but I don't know that I can forgive her for all this bloodshed. That's what makes it hard. Everything worked out for me. It's not my grudge I'm holding on to. It's theirs. All those innocent lives. She's a good person, but I'm going to need time.
I was going to recommend that the Queen shut this place down when I gave my report. But if Talamar thinks he can rebuild it into a place where the animals come first, I bet I can make the promotion stick. He was always her favorite keeper. I'll head to Alinor to present my findings to the Proxy Queen and send a letter to Queen Irene. After that, I don't know. I'm not really much use to either of them now. I guess a life of tending stables is all I'm really suited for. You think? It was you who wound up doing most of the work. But I guess I did a pretty good job of sabotaging everything. Maybe I have a new calling in breaking things. I suppose I do owe him for the mess I made. Assuming he'll even trust me around another animal, I'll consider it. One way or another, I'll get him the help he needs. Promise.
There is dark news out of Sunhold. Maormer flags fly in the harbor. Be careful if you're heading there.
A breach near the sea. Ah, I do love the ocean. It's a shame you can only see it in 3 dimensions. All the quasitones and endless number forms. Actually, I take it back. Your meat brain would explode if you saw this.
Test my patience, mortal fools. Battle belongs to you, but wait until next time!
I'd give Sunhold a wide... Someone needs to...
Proxy Queen keeps me as busy as a sapiarch. I need to deal with one more disaster today. I may order the Divine Prosecution to round up vagrants for me to beat upon. Now, out with it. Were you able to disrupt the abyssal geysers? That's excellent news. Despite my misgivings, it seems the Queen's decree has been more of a blessing than a curse. I'm not sure what we would have done without the help of newcomers like you. You have my thanks and the gratitude of all of Somerset. More abyssal guides at the island. We utilize the information Kainar and Maria acquired and destroy them before they damage the island. Just what was in the report, you... The Sea-Slowed Cabal has seeded the island with enchanted abyssal pearls. The magic in the pearls somehow opens the geysers and calls forth the creatures. They plan to use the geysers to sink Somerset. What I wouldn't give to have enough soldiers for such a mission. Unfortunately, most of the Dominion military currently defends the Queen's honor in Cyrodiil. I'm left with a small defense force and whatever help I can scrounge up. You, for example.
Someone had to kill her. Vereda didn't just up and die at the tender age of 28.
Stop squawking, you fat netch! You're just as likely the one that killed her.
I did this then? When you're the one greedier than a starving hawker?
This is going nowhere. We'll never find the treasure if we keep killing each other.
You walk in here on 3 skeevers arguing over a dead body and decide you want to chat with one of them? You either got some kind of guts or you're some kind of stupid. Either way, maybe you can help. A family squabble of sorts. You see, one of these ghosties went and killed Vereda. Problem is, none of us are about to go treasure hunting. There's a murderer at our back. Been killing for gold. You don't stop at one. Or so I hear. Ancestor of ours, Jadil the Keelhauler, cached her loot around here. If you grab the chest for us, there's no chance for a sneak attack. The map over there will lead you right to it. And obviously, I'll pay you for the trouble. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Look at these squabbling fools. Why don't I just take the treasure myself? Tough like that. The only thing that will crack the chest open is the blood of Jadil's descendant. Thus, you'll need one of us. I'm known as Igeki Ratbite. It would serve you well to not forget that name, given that I'll one day have a legacy as epic as Jadil herself. You saw my face, right? I got bit by a rat. It was a big rat. Don't worry, it's dead now. She was an explorer, sailed from Atmora all the way to Yakura, despite half her crew falling mad along the way. She discovered new lands, new cultures. Shame so few hear of her. Her greatest adventure was raiding the palace of King Ognum himself. Right you are, fled Piandanea after quick as a flash. Pa said the whole Miramore fleet came after her. Eventually, they chased her right to this cove. She fled to the shore, clutching a single chest of treasure, buried it before making her way back home. The blood of my blood willingly given. That's how the enchantment goes. You see, Jadil wanted to settle down, have a few brats of her own. So, the story was passed along, waiting for a descendant adventurous enough to set sail.
Seems Igeki roped you in on this little adventure too. Just great. You know, I always wanted siblings growing up. But if this is what my cousins turned out to be like, glad I was spared the experience. They call me Soberstorn. And yes, I realize that is an odd name for a Nord. Make no mistake, I still enjoy a strong brew. There was another Storn in my village. Stone drunk at all hours of the day. He once fell in a mead tank and had to drink his way out. Practically a village hero after that. I was just sober in comparison. Distant cousins. I didn't even realize I was related to these skeevers before Igeki found us. She had the family records, you see. It was her that brought us all together. Ratface needed all of us, though, if she wanted Jadil's treasure. Drock had a boat. Vereda had the funds, and I inherited Jadil's map. So we all worked together, as long as was convenient. Of course, the only one I trust not to betray me at this point is Vereda. And that's only because she's dead. I don't mean to find out. The quicker you find that treasure, the quicker I can make my way back home. Hopefully without a knife ending up between my ribs.
So, you've decided to join our little escapade. Well, I'd watch my back if I were you. Never know when a dagger will end up in it. But have no fear. I'm certain I'll crack this little mystery wide open. I am called Drokagir, after my father. He was a man of girth, you see. Mother required some way to separate us, and so the epithet Lesser was given to me. Of course, you'll find most to be a lesser man than Drokagir the Lesser, especially when it comes to acting. Yes, most ardently so. I've graced many of Skyrim's stages. Once I've obtained my wealth, I'll visit the House of Reveries. I suspect they'll demand I join them once they've caught wind of my talent. Oh, poor Verada. I hardly knew thee, cousin, and now I never shall. One of these rapscallions killed her as she slumbered, oblivious to such a betrayal, strangled her most likely, the brutes, all to get a greater share of the treasure. All of us have grown up on tales of Jadil the Keelhauler and her Somerset treasure. The way Auntie Brinkella tells it, whoever opens the chest will have enough wealth to last them a lifetime. Of course, I was happy with a quarter share. It has to be one of them, doesn't it? As soon as you bring us the treasure, we'll be on our separate ways. Until then, I'll make sure no one moves from this spot. Wouldn't want another tragedy to occur. Another one? You there! Come here! I bet you've come here for an Aurealis bloom. Well, tough luck. Fresh out. Last one was nabbed a fortnight ago. Come back in about a year. Maybe I'll have another one by then. Why else would you come here? The view? You know, once you could get an Aurealis anywhere. Now it's all but gone. Blotted out of existence by the greed of artists. You heard me. As soon as they learned it made a pretty paint, that was it. Didn't care that it takes over a year to grow, and that's only with proper care. No, they had to have it. And so they took, and now there's nothing left. What are you, deaf? Or just scared to go back empty-handed? Look, I told you that plant is gone. Go find another bloom for your fancy painting. Off with you now. Just leave me and my garden be. Would you leave that alone? You'll damage it. What are you doing? Stop that! Hey there! Leave that alone. Please, leave that Aurealis alone. You can't take it. What is wrong with you? Why couldn't you just continue on your way? Of course I did. Why would I let you have one of the last, if not the last, surviving blooms? If you take that plant, the species may be wiped out for good. Did you ever, in your obsession with paint, think about what you're taking from Somerset? Yes! That's what I've been saying all along. You're about to uproot what could be the last Aurealis on Somerset and grind it up for some painting. How could you do something so horrible? You really want to take the chance? I'm telling you, I've searched all over this island. This is the only one I could find. In less than a year, it will spread seeds. I'll nurture them, help rekindle the species. Please, just don't do this. Finally, someone who sees reason. Thank the stars. And thank you too, kind traveler. After the last visitor, I was just about ready to give up hope that I'd ever meet a kindred soul. Oh, but damn that Verilel. I'd have 2 blooms if not for him. Yes, Verilel. The blasted artist who took the last Aurealis bloom I cultivated. That's why I was so desperate to save the only surviving plant.
So, were you able to find Jadil's treasure? Huh. I always imagined it a tad bigger. Well, if it's stuffed with diamonds, I guess it doesn't much matter what size the box is. Thanks for grabbing it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to crack this beauty open. Now, let's see what we're working with here.
Can't you bleed any faster, Igeki?
Indeed! My being roils with anticipation!
What the? There's just a scroll in here! I sailed across many seas and raided many ships, but the most precious treasure is family. May you see the wisdom in these words.
What? I came all this way for nothing? I can't believe I poisoned Vereda for a stupid scroll!
Hold a moment. You killed Vereda? But I was the one who strangled her right after she fell asleep.
Neither of you are making any sense! I stabbed her! Right after we doused the fire!
Wait, did we all kill Vereda to get a bigger share of the treasure?
Ha! I suppose betrayal runs in the family.
I suppose that's why Jadil gave up a life of piracy. She decided a loving family was more important than riches or treasure. What an idiot. I doubt it. Jadil probably did this to bring her descendants closer. Companionship through the hardship of exploration or some such nonsense. To think I went and killed Vereda, all for nothing. I regret going through the trouble. It's easy to feel sympathy for a corpse, but trust me, if you had known Vereda, you would understand. It's no coincidence that all three of us decided to go after her, and only her.
I can't believe I ever looked up to this loony crone. To think she would trick us all just for some stupid moral lesson. I just hope such lunacy doesn't run in the family. An explorer? No. I wanted to be a filthy rich pirate captain. I was going to use the treasure to put together a ship and crew. But thanks to Jadil and her bleeding heart, I suppose that's not going to happen. A life of scrubbing decks and taking orders, no thanks. You know, killing Vereda was pretty easy. Maybe I'll join the Dark Brotherhood. I just have to catch their attention, right? Yeah, I think I could do that.
To think that Jadil planned for this outcome from the very start! Who knew the old girl had such a flair for the dramatic? I wonder if she ever thought of joining the theater! Next, why, I think I'll hop over to Relenthiel, show my talents off, see what happens. Honestly, the performance of this whole affair has put me in a mood for some drama. To think that all three of us were the murderer the whole time! The mystery of Vereda's death, the tension between us all, and then the grand reveal that there was no treasure to begin with. The whole story drips with dramatic irony. I could become a playwright with such a tale. Huh. Not a bad idea. Gah.
Hold, courier. I would like to have a word, if you would. You know, I've heard quite a bit about your little venture to acquire Tindoria's supplies for her latest sketch, and I must say I'm impressed. You've certainly proven capable. I have a proposition for you. Sell those supplies to me instead. Well, I could speak to how those supplies would be used in the service of art that touches the soul of mer and man. But I feel my words would not move you, so let's try another venue, shall we? I'll double whatever payment Tindoria has offered. Me do such a thing? As I told dearest Brodrin, it was Tindoria who sought to drive him to ruin. Why, I adore the little woodland elf. Tindoria has tricked you, my friend. Then someone she paid to incriminate me, no doubt. This game we play is one with many twists. Tindoria has simply made sure to be one step ahead this time. Sell me those supplies, and I'll even make sure to compensate Brodrin for the trouble. Well, that's a shame, isn't it? Such wonderful colors wasted on such a forgettable piece. I am a purveyor of the divine, my friend. Cannot blame me for trying. Off with you, then. I shall defeat my rival the old-fashioned way, with talent. So, you've chosen to be as unreasonable as your employer. Typical. Well, no matter. I have no doubt the royal court will choose to sponsor me as their next artist. I have no need for fancy paint to sway the hearts of men. Who am I? Honestly, I'm shocked you haven't heard of me. My works of brilliance are desired across all Somerset. My name reverberates throughout the land on the lips of nobles and commoners alike. An artist? No. I am the artist. I assure you, my confidence is well earned. Unlike poor Tindoria, she tries her best, but those with an eye for these sorts of things know the truth. She lacks a certain something. Hate, that's quite a strong term. Why, we're simply friendly rivals. It's always been that way ever since we trained together under Hainamil. Truly, I relish our time together. I'm simply the better artiste.
At last you return, and with my reagents! Come, I simply must see them. My genius is like a stallion waiting to be set free. Complication? A fine way to refer to Veyralel. Oh, don't look so surprised. I can still smell that insufferable perfume of his. Yet here you are, which tells me you must have seen through his charade. Now, what of my supplies? Extinct? How could such a common plant go extinct? Just last week I saw some. Oh, wait a moment, was that last month? Last year? Oh, how the time flies when you're creating. No matter. Fine, I can work without it. I will, however, dock your pay. Oh, that scoundrel! Brodrin is a good mer, and he loves those bugs like his own children. This is intolerable news. How will I do without my sea grey? No, I cannot allow this. I will send Brodrin alone to cover this year's livestock. Oh, wonderful! I hoped she'd like it. I do wish she'd return to the city instead of living in that backwater swamp. Though perhaps something good can be said for her isolation, as she's created such a lovely teal. Here is your payment, as contracted. I am pleased you chose to honor our arrangement instead of siding with that scoundrel. Oh, I see it now. You're the perfect subject for my masterpiece. Your shining loyalty, your pure heart. Perfect. Your visage upon my canvas shall be viewed for centuries, I'm sure. Why, maybe one day it will be featured in a gallery with the Queen herself. It's really very generous of me. You're quite welcome. Oh, just a quick sketch then, to capture your essence. I simply must make sure I get the eyes right. There, that should serve well enough.